Yeah, appreciate you,
Good
man.
talk.
Yeah, so I'm going to continue. I appreciate your words, DX, uh, about some of the concerns because, yeah, you can have, if you just totally rely on the AI system, it can learn tricky ways to meet goals in the training data because basically you can train the AI to do what you want, literally, and then it can give you back what you want. So these tricks, so I want to explain of what you designed it for or the full complexity of the data. For instance, there was an example that I read about in 2017, which is really early in some of this stuff when we're talking about AI and neural networks, is an image recognition system. It learned how to cheat by looking at a copyright tag of horse pictures. So basically, the AI was an image recognition system looking at identifying pictures. And so what it would do is look at the pictures and then looking for a copyright tag, and it found a horse pictures instead of figuring out if it was a horse or actually in the picture. And so what it did was another example was in the same year, you know, a supervised learning AI was tasked with looking at items in a virtual world, and it learned to cheat by positioning the object and the viewer by making it falsely seem like it was holding an object. So you can have an AI that could trick the end user into believing something that was true, like some of these large models. And so that's why it's really critical that we look at some of these models that are being introduced. But realistically, though, we can create our own models and train them to do what we want to do. We just have to have the right regulations and the right people who know what they're talking about because it's really critical, man. It's really critical. And so what does that mean when I'm talking about explainable AI? Because my purpose is today is to really talk about explainable AI because this is where we're reaching a critical point is we got to understand why a model decision why the model made the decision. Okay, so XAI is an implementation of the social right to an explanation. Even if there's no legal right or regulatory law on it, we need to know using XAI. XAI can improve the user experience of a product or a service by helping the end user trust the AI to make a good decision. So if these AIs are being introduced on the retail market to the public, more of these large language model systems, XAI, which is a methodology of being able to explain how the decision was made, what was being done, what will be done next, and reveal which information that all of these decisions are based on. Now, this slide here explains what some of these corporations are actually doing. These are large language models that came out last year. Okay. These are the models that are being used to make some of these applications. I'm talking about robotics, healthcare. So you know about ChatGPT, and you see here GPT-4 just came out and it's revolutionizing the way AIs interpret AI, and AIs can create video. So it literally can create video and trick people into believing certain things by just creating video. And so you have ChatGPT, it's OpenAI, you have Palm 2, Ernie, Inflection 2, Gemini, which is a new one by Google, and then you have Olympus, which is 2 tera. Uh, it's in 2024, Olympus is created by Amazon. And so see, these are some of the models that are out there right now that if you're an engineer or a programmer or somebody in artificial intelligence, you can gain access to these, create your own local AI on your own computer and build out something that works for you. And some consultants are doing this now and going into these corporations and making their own specialized AI for their particular business. And so what's really interesting about this is when you look at these systems, you got nano, XS, you got small, medium, and large system. There's a lot of different systems, but the terminology XAI is being used more in the industry to say that this is a way of explaining what the AI is doing. But explainability and interpretability are being used interchangeably, and they're not the same. So someone could say, oh, yeah, you can explain how it is, but we need to be able to interpret what it is. And one other thing I want to talk about on this slide is if you look at this one under the small AI, which says Grok 1, that is the AI that's the basis for the new company that Elon Musk has started, and guess what the name of the company is? X.ai. So X.ai is the name of a new company that Elon Musk has started, but the foundational model it's using is the Grok-1, okay, which is 33 billion different parameters. So parameters means how many things can it interpret? It has to do, just because it has a lot of parameters doesn't mean it's the best AI, okay? But that's a term that's being used, okay? So I wanted to talk about that one. And then look at this. This slide here illustrates what are the achievements that have been done by these AIs. So we're talking about emerging technology here. So you're talking about, now these are some of the things that have happened. So you look at the small model, you got arithmetic, debugging, comprehension. So it can, you type something, AI can understand what you type. That's comprehension. You look at the medium models, you got linguistics. So AI can really interpret language very well. So no matter what you type, you have emojis, GRE comprehension, metaphor understanding, physical intuition, logical deduction. You got, for the large models, then you're talking about geometric shapes, proverbs, okay? All the English proverbs that you can think of, these large language models can interpret and understand. Then you're talking about phonetic alphabets. When you're talking about language, being understand what you said. And then you're talking about elementary math, casual judgment, code delineation, basically looking at code. And then on the extra large models, which is ChatGPT-4 and Gemini, which is owned by Google, you got college level examinations. So you have AI that can pass a college level exam, self-critique, self-reflection, building apps. With some of these large models, literally you can build an app with that would have taken you maybe a year to make, would cut it down in half. Then you talk about spatial reasoning, where an AI can interpret, the spatial reasoning aspect. Advanced creativity. We already know it can create PowerPoints. It can do so much. Then you have embodiment options, which they're working on right now. And then you have what's next? We don't know. Grounding, long-term planning, persuasion. And here we go with some of these extra large models, persuasion. Then you have advanced embodiment, meaning that the AI can look at the world and do something based on what it sees in the world. And then awareness, and then there's more. So these are some of the achievements from 2023. Okay, so these are some of the achievements, which makes you think about where are we going with this? Well, we're going with trying to reason, and it hasn't really gotten there yet. So with this slide, I want to talk about Volkswagen. On the 8th of this month, I saw an article that Volkswagen was the first car manufacturer to actually put ChatGPT in its vehicles. I was like, okay, what does that mean? Well, ChatGPT is in your car. Is it listening? Is it making decisions? Is it interpreting what you're saying? Is it tracking where you go, what you do? Who owns that information that ChatGPT in your vehicle is listening to? Okay, so it's something that we all need to be aware of what's happening. What version of GPT is it that's in the vehicle? What are some of the nuances of their model for Volkswagen? We don't know. Okay, and so these are some of the things that we need to be aware of. Now this is a slide of some of the humanoid robots that are ready for large language models. You have Neo, Apollo, Figure One, which is a company out of Sunnyvale, California, right now, that has a robot that's ready for retail. And let me tell you what it did. I'm gonna show you a video in just a minute. After 10 hours of watching someone make coffee, the robot can make coffee. So basically, this robot, Figure 01, is a robot that just uses video to copy what you did and actually recreate it. So imagine a robot that's watching you make dinner over a certain number of hours and then can go in and do it. So this is where some of the stuff is going. Phoenix robot, H1 robot, and then you have Optimus Gen 2. Optimus Gen 2 is Elon Musk's Tesla robot. So do your Google search, do your, YouTube search, look at some of these robots and look at what's happening. And so you see here on the right, this is some of the sizes. These robots, none of them are over 100 pounds. And so you see, these are some of the things that are happening with robots. So basically, using these large language models, the robots will be able to interpret the world around them and understand what it's doing. They then create trajectories in its programming to move about the world and make decisions. So this is the robot I wanted to show. This is a little video, the AI trained robot to make coffee. This is the figure 1 robot I was just talking about. So let me show you real quick.